As the fallout continues from this week's by-elections, and with the only glimmer of hope for the Conservatives at the Uxbridge by-election, where voters came out in force to vote against ULEZ, Conservative ministers and MPs are asking Rishi to drop the party's net zero targets.
Well, we're joined now by GB News presenter and the Deputy Chairman of the Conservative Party, Lee Anderson. Great to see you. Now, we'll come to Uxbridge in a moment, but there was two other disasters that went on, wasn't there? There was Selby and there was Somerset and Frome. So who is responsible for those losses, do we say, and those massive defeats? Is it the candidates, CCHQ or the Prime Minister?
Well, none of those, Esther. I would say it's you, it's Phil, it's me, and it's the parliamentary party. It's our fault that we lost those elections. Now, let's hold our hands up. We're MPs of the governing party in this country. We should all hold our hands up and take some responsibility rather than just picking individuals out. Look, we sit there every day. I've been there nearly 4 years now. You two's been there a little bit longer. You know, there's a certain course that we're travelling on. It's been not good for the two by-elections that you mentioned, but the one that we did win was it's given us a flicker of hope in that there was, one thing that was actually campaigned on, this terrible tax, this tax on fresh air, this money grab from Khan. Now, I think we have to learn lessons from this. Look, we all know that by-elections, especially when you come into the end of a parliament or end of the 5 years, should we say, are going to be very difficult for the incumbent government to win. But we were punished. And the message I got on the doorsteps in Frome and up in Selby was that we're a little bit fed up with you at the moment. We want to vote for you, but please give us a reason to vote for you. Now, it's up to us as a party to show our loyal Conservative voters that stopped at home last week that we've got to give them a reason to come out. And, like I say, a little bit of hope in Uxbridge, where we had the ULEZ campaign. I think, look at that. Let's learn from it. Let's not be arrogant and realise that our voters out there do want to vote for us. So it's your fault.
Just moving on to Uxbridge then, Lee. Obviously, that was, a huge relief for the Prime Minister and for the Conservative Party. It was seen as basically Labour losing it because of ULEZ rather than a massive vote of confidence in the Conservative Party. I guess the question is, this was, given that this was sort of motorists in effect fighting back about being fleeced and taken for a ride by politicians, people could argue, well, hold on a minute, the governments know better. They've got these net zero policies, which are all about fleecing motorists, taking money out of people's pockets. So is it time for the Conservative government to scrap the target of this sort of mad rush to net zero rather than fall into the same trap that Labour did in Uxbridge?
Well, I think, Phil, that you know my views on net zero. I've been quite vocal from day one. Nobody disagrees with the notion that we've got to make our planet much cleaner and leave this planet in a better condition than when we arrived. The one thing that concerns me about net zero is the fact that we seem to be doing it quicker, faster, and more costlier than any other nation on this country. And, I worry about the constituents in Ashfield when they're struggling to pay their gas bills and electric bills, and struggling to fill the car up at the petrol station. So I would say what we need to do is have a rethink, because if we don't look at Uxbridge and the reasons, and the candidate Steve, it was quite clear. He didn't take any credit for that win, and he didn't give any credit really to the party. It was all down to the ULEZ campaign. It was Labour that actually lost that, and thank goodness, because like I say, it's given us a little bit of hope, and I just hope that some of us aren't too arrogant to look at that result and think we can just plough ahead. Because at the moment, I think Khan, he's being arrogant. He's going to plough ahead with ULEZ. But the old flip-flop, Starmer, the slippery Starmer, he's sort of flip-flopping on this again and changing his mind.